Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of Tech Tips. Not really tips, but more of sharing with you guys some of the stuff I'm working on. What I'm doing here is I'm running a stress test and a frame rate test on my video cards. This is the Valley, I think Hidden Valley Benchmark. It's I'm currently benchmarking it here. If you look at the top right-hand corner of the screen, you will see that I have two GeForce GTX 780s, but only one is actually running right now. Currently, in the first half of this, it is not in SLI mode. It is in single GPU card mode. So the other one is just sitting there idle. And if you can see that it's up over 1300 megahertz. Now, any of you guys that know much about these graphics cards and where they run on frequency, stock, I believe these are down in the low 800s. Overclocked from factory overclocks like EVGA, you can get them high 800s to low 900s. This right now is running, a stress test on it, so it's pushing my graphics cards to its limit. What I'm trying to do is, maximize all the stuff that I have. Building up to this point now, I've really just kind of bought components for computers, saying, hey, this is a good video card, hey, this is a good processor, thrown them in there and kind of went with it, But lately, I'd say within the past year basically, but a lot more in the past 6 months, is building these systems. I've, started focusing more on utilizing and squeezing every bit out of it that I can, as far as performance goes. Pushing the processors to their limit, adjusting not only the multiplier but the voltages and everything to try and get as high as a frequency out of them that you can with stable results and them not overheating and crashing your games. Same here now with my graphics cards. With the release of the beta of Battlefield 4, I was trying some different things, which was probably not the best test bed, being that it was a beta and it definitely had some issues. But in anticipation of the release of the game, I am looking at some things here. As far as this weekend I've been doing stuff with Windows 8 because the game is supposed to be optimized for Windows 8. And I've been doing CPU and GPU tests, adjustments, and then going through and benchmarking them to see how they're performing and if I can squeeze any more out of them or if I'm pushing them too hard. So coming up here, you'll see the results of the single card here, and then we'll get back into the discussion a little bit. So there it is. Valley Benchmark, my frames per second, 73.7. So it's pretty good. You can see all my information there as far as my processor and stuff. It's not really showing. I don't know if I couldn't really see. I don't know if it was showing my overclock or not. But now if you look in the top right-hand corner, you can see that I am in SLI mode. I am running both GeForce GTX 780s. These are EVGA SCs, superclocked, with the ACX coolers on them, so they are factory overclocked already, but you can push them much farther if you so choose. So what I'm doing here, like I said, is trying to maximize everything in anticipation of running, being able to have, I have the playability, for days if I'm not recording, right? I can run, it doesn't matter what game it is, I can run it on super ultra depending on what kind of frame rate that I want to get. But when you add in recording and when you're adding in software recording, some of these things like your CPU and your GPUs take a hit. Mostly your CPU when it comes to programs like Fraps or DxTory, stuff like that. Now, Nvidia has announced that they are releasing a beta form of a video recorder that ties in with the GeForce Experience program that they have. It's kind of a program that you can use to monitor, check for updates on drivers, and it can kind of look at your system. It will also look at the games that are tied into your system and help you optimize them, even though what it kind of does is it just shows you how far you can push the game. I mean, when it says optimize my games, it's just pushing everything to ultra, but that's not necessarily the best thing to do when you're recording and when you're trying to play and be competitive with the other players online. You know, you need to have extremely smooth frame rates. I'm running these on 120 hertz monitors. I've got two 120 hertz monitors here that I am doing these on, and I want to be able to play, record, and have the clarity of a high FPS and running at 120 hertz monitor. It's a lot of people talk about, can the human eye distinguish and all this stuff. There's a lot of discussion about that. I tell you what, I don't know about the human eye, but there's a big difference between 60 hertz and 120 hertz if your system is running it legit. It really, really clears things up, takes away that last little bit of blur, and you can see people at a distance much easier. It's easier to get on target. It's easier to see through your red dot sights and your scopes and stuff. Makes a big difference, because during the beta, when it dropped back down below 120, I could tell a big difference, and on other games that I've been playing as well. So I know this probably wasn't the most exciting video, but it's interesting. I know some of you guys out there who've communicated with me are interested in these different things, and it's late at night. It's 12:30 at night, and I just was running some bench tests. So 90.9 on the SLI. That's not too bad. It's pretty good for the settings I have. So hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.